Have you ever paid attention to how some women don't flirt in an obvious way? Instead of being direct, they quietly test how aware you are, especially when you're a man over 50. Their behavior shifts around you. They don't want to come across as needy or too available, so instead of showing interest openly, they ask certain kinds of questions. Curious. And here's what most men miss. When a woman feels attracted to a mature man, she almost always asks two very specific questions. It's like a signal hidden right in front of you. Pause. Before we get into that, take a second to like and comment if you've ever realized too late that a woman was actually showing interest. That kind of engagement helps this message reach more men who need it. A lot of men over 50 believe they've become invisible, especially to younger women or even women their own age. But the reality is the opposite. Many mature men are more attractive than ever, once they understand how women actually communicate interest. The issue isn't women, it's misunderstanding. It's thinking she's just being nice when she's actually opening the door for something more. Women rarely express attraction in a straightforward way. Instead, they observe your emotional control, your presence, and whether you notice subtle details. Feminine psychology works quietly. When a woman begins to feel safe with you, emotionally, physically, even intimately, her behavior shifts. She becomes more curious, but in a very intentional way. Curious. She starts asking questions that help her understand three things. First, your strength and stability as a man. Second, whether you are emotionally and practically available. And third, your awareness. Whether you can recognize genuine interest when it's right in front of you. That's when those two key questions appear. To really understand their importance, you need to recognize something deeper. Many men over 50 expect clear signals because they grew up in a time when communication was more direct. But today, even mature women express interest differently, thoughtful. They don't say, "I'm attracted to you," or "I want something romantic with you." Instead, they explore. They ask thoughtful questions to see if you're someone they can move closer to without risking rejection. Because here's the quiet truth, especially with older men. If she shows interest too openly, she fears being judged as needy. So she hides that interest inside curiosity. Her questions seem harmless, especially to a man who isn't paying attention. And if you miss them, she usually won't repeat the opportunity. Curious women communicate through layers. Where men often show interest through actions, offering help, leading, protecting, women express it through carefully chosen questions that hint at connection. There are many questions she might ask in everyday conversation, but only two tend to show up consistently when she's exploring deeper intimacy with a mature man. But first, understand this. She's not asking because she wants information. She's asking because she wants to feel your emotional energy. Thoughtful. She's trying to sense if you're calm, grounded, open, and confident. E.T. in your masculinity. These questions are about connection, not facts. They're like small bridges she places between you and her, waiting to see if you step forward with presence. Most men answer these questions on the surface, but a more aware man understands what's behind them. When she asks, she's not collecting data, she's checking alignment. Thoughtful. She's observing whether you notice what's really happening beneath the words. When a woman feels drawn to you, she doesn't need you to impress her with money, strength, or stories. She needs to feel that you're present, aware, and emotionally steady. That's why these two questions matter. They are invitations. The first question is designed to reveal one thing, your availability, not your schedule, but your emotional openness. Curious. She wants to feel if your life has space for her. It's her way of asking, are you open to connection or are you closed off in your routines? She's trying to sense whether she can move closer without being pushed away. Most men completely miss this and assume she's just making conversation, but in reality, it's her version of leaning in slightly to see if you meet her halfway. Curious. The second question is about your direction, not your job or goals, but your inner clarity. She wants to know if you have purpose, stability, and a sense of who you are. Women don't open up to men who feel lost. They respond to men who are grounded and clear about their path. This question helps her feel whether she would be safe and secure around your presence. Thoughtful. It's not about details, it's about your core. When she asks it, she's imagining what it would feel like to be close to you. These questions matter even more for men over 50. By that stage in life, many women assume you've already lived through most of your emotional experiences, so they hesitate unless they feel there's real space for them in your life. Thoughtful. These simple questions are her way of checking if that space exists, and if you're still living with intention. You might miss body language, you might ignore compliments, but if you miss these two questions, you miss the moment she's quietly opening the door. Sighs. And once that door closes, it usually stays closed. When a woman wants something deeper, not just casual conversation, but real emotional and physical connection, she tests it through these two questions. Curious. They show up across cultures and backgrounds because they come from the same psychological place. The first one is, do you spend a lot of time alone? Curious. It sounds simple, but it's not. What she's really asking is there room for me in your life? She might phrase it differently, like asking if you usually go out alone, if you keep to yourself, or if you're seeing anyone. But the meaning stays the same. This isn't about loneliness, it's about access. She's trying to understand if you're emotionally open or closed off. If she didn't feel something for you, she wouldn't care how you spend your time. But when she's drawn to your calm and stability, she wants to know if she can step into your world naturally. Most men answer too literally. But a grounded man understands the deeper layer. She's testing your openness. Thoughtful. A strong response would be something like, I enjoy my space, but I'm always open to the right company. Or, I have my routines, but I'm open to someone who adds value to my life. This kind of answer shows that you're open, but not desperate. It creates a sense of warmth and possibility without losing your strength. And that naturally leads to the second question, which reveals her deeper interest. What are you looking for these days? Curious. This question is never random. It's not casual talk. When a woman asks this, she's considering you as a potential partner. If she felt nothing, she wouldn't go there. It's too personal. Thoughtful. She might phrase it in different ways, asking about your direction, your focus, or what you want at this stage of life. But the intention is the same. She wants to understand your inner direction. For a woman to open up emotionally or physically, she needs to feel that you're clear about who you are and where you're going. She needs to feel that you're not just drifting through life. Thoughtful. When men answer this with uncertainty, like saying they're just taking life as it comes, it signals a lack of direction, and that kills attraction. Sighs. You don't need a long explanation, just clarity. You can say something like, I'm focused on building a meaningful and balanced life with the right people. Or, I'm looking for something real that feels natural and genuine. These responses show movement, purpose, and emotional awareness. They give her something to connect to. They allow her to imagine herself being part of your life. Surprised. Here's something many men don't fully realize. Women are drawn to men who are alive on the inside, not just physically present, but emotionally awake. These two questions are connected to that. When she asks about your alone time, she's measuring your openness. Thoughtful. When she asks what you're looking for, she's measuring your direction. And the logic is simple. A man who is open and purposeful creates attraction. Women don't need perfection. They need clarity, because clarity creates safety, and safety allows desire to grow. Picture this in a real moment. You're talking to a woman, maybe at a cafe, a bookstore, a friend's gathering, or even online. The conversation flows easily. There's a quiet connection. She smiles a little more, maybe plays with her hair, and looks at you with warmth. Curious. Then she asks, do you spend a lot of time alone? That's her first step toward you. If you respond with presence, she feels encouraged. If you miss it, the energy drops. Pause. Later, she asks, what are you looking for these days? Curious. That's her second step. If you answer with clarity, she leans in emotionally. If not, she pulls back. These moments aren't random. They're checkpoints, and women don't ask these questions unless they feel something. Curious. Remember this. A woman who wants intimacy won't say it directly. She won't confess it or push herself forward. Instead, she'll ask these two questions. Thoughtful. Are you open? Do you spend a lot of time alone? Are you directed? Curious. What are you looking for these days? They're not about your plans. They're about your energy. If you recognize them, you stay present in the moment. If you miss them, the moment disappears. Size. Women rarely give the same opportunity twice. If there's one thing to take from this, it's this. A woman doesn't test your words. She tests your awareness and presence. Thoughtful. When you understand the signals behind her questions, you stop guessing and start seeing clearly. Before you leave, support by commenting, "I see the signs below." It shows you understand and helps this message reach more men who need it. Women communicate attraction in subtle, emotional ways that many men overlook. And for mature men, this matters even more. Curious women expect depth, presence, and clarity from you. They assume you've lived enough life to know who you are. That's why their interest shows up through emotional signals instead of obvious gestures. When she asks about your openness or your direction, she's not just asking questions, she's trying to feel who you are beneath the surface. Thoughtful. And when it comes to meaningful moments, like during the holidays, it becomes even more important. It's not about what you give, but how deeply you connect. What matters most is how seen and valued you make her feel. If you want to truly reach her emotionally, start by listening. Not just to her words, but to the feelings behind them. Pay attention to her tone, her pauses, the things she doesn't say directly. Size. That kind of presence creates a powerful connection. Then create moments of warmth and closeness. It doesn't have to be grand. Even something simple like a quiet walk or a meaningful conversation can make her feel safe and appreciated. Thoughtful. And finally, acknowledge her for who she truly is. Notice her qualities, her uniqueness, the way she shows up in your life. When a woman feels genuinely seen, it creates a bond that goes far beyond anything material. Sincere. Because in the end, what she remembers isn't what you gave, it's how you made her feel. And when it comes to meaningful moments, like during the holidays, it becomes even more important. Thoughtful. It's not about what you give, but how deeply you connect. What matters most is how seen and valued you make her feel. If you want to truly reach her emotionally, start by listening, not just to her words, but to the feelings behind them. Pay attention to her tone, her pauses, the things she doesn't say directly. Thoughtful. That kind of presence creates a powerful connection.